Rightio, this is the other pistol I bought, which I mentioned the other day. This is the Glock 17 Gen 5 MOS in black. It says for sale in Asia only, which is strange, but this is from VFC. And you might be saying, why have you bought this? Don't you have two Marui G17 Gen 5 MOSs? Yes, I do. And I've basically purchased this to pit it against those pistols. I haven't had a VFC Glock since the 19X came out. Now, I did originally love the 19X. I had countless games with it. I had much fun with it, but then it just became one of those pistols that I couldn't always depend on. So, you know, sometimes I'd take it to a game and it was fine. Other times I'd take it to a game and it would be the worst pile of crap ever. It just seemed super inconsistent, but I decided to pick this up. I've bought this to own it and review it and put it into the collection. I don't necessarily need another G17 Gen 5, but this is the official licensed Glock model. And we're going to review it today, and then later down the line, we're going to pit it against the Marui and see which one comes out on top. So let's get straight to it. What is it? This is a gas blowback airsoft pistol from Umarex and VFC. It's a Glock 17 Gen 5 MOS. It is licensed by Glock because Umarex hold the license for these things. We're just going to peel this sticker off here. Hopefully it comes off without ripping. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Are we going to get lucky today? Yeah. So you'll see here, it's got all the markings. We've got Glock on the frame. We've of course got officially licensed product of Glock. We've got the Glock symbol here. We've got the serial numbers, 9x19. We've got some more bits on top of the barrel here, 9x19, the Glock logo, and the bits on there. We've obviously got the MOS plate as well. Unlike the Osprey that we looked at recently, you're going to have to find a red dot for this. It does come with the plates. That doesn't necessarily mean it comes with all the screws that you need. So it's not a case of just taking this off and fitting a red dot. You have to use a plate which comes in the box. Now, those plates, it does give you a number of them. So we've got one here. They're just numbered. Companies do this sometimes, but they'll basically just be patterned differently for different pistols. Now, it's either going to be that one or that one for an RMR, I think, but we'll get to that eventually. So what we're going to do first, I bought this pistol. I bought extra mags. I've left them downstairs, but we only need one to test it really. So first of all, we're going to slide the base plate off. Reveals underneath the inlet valve. We're going to be charging this with green gas. Oh God, if I can get the bloody lid off. There we go. I usually use propane, but I'm out. So we'll charge this magazine up. I'm just quickly going to purge this because just want to get rid of the air. Retop that back up with some gas. Now what I will say from that initial firing, this thing's got a really nice kick to it. We'll just try that again. More than what I thought it would have. Do you know what? That's such a nice kick. It almost feels similar to like my GHK, but then I haven't owned the GHK for so long now. I might just be not remembering that correctly. Obviously, it's going to have more blowback and, you know, airsoft recoil, if you want to call it that, compared to the Marui. It's not going to be as snappy as it because it's got more reciprocating mass. But we're going to give this thing a go. We'll see what it chronos at. We'll see how it does. See how consistent it is. I'm just going to get some fresh 0.25 gram BBs straight from the Vanguard because that's where I store them all. And then we'll get to testing this pistol. So I bought this at the same time just because when I ordered the Osprey and a couple of the D-Tonics, I thought, well, it's in stock. I've been thinking about getting one for a while. We can actually fill it from the top, almost. A lot of Glocks suffer from this. There we go. There's some 0.25 gram BBs in there. We're going to lock the slide back to the rear. Insert the magazine. We can power stroke it, of course. Chrono, 0.25 gram BBs. Let's see what it does. We're at 1.029. I'm going to read these out to you now. 1.011, 1.019, 1.01, 1.011, 0.985, 1.008, 0.972, 0.995, and 0.976. So extremely consistent there. It was hovering around the same readouts like every couple of EBs, like 1.01, 1.019, 1.011, and 1.01. I think it was. It was just fluctuating between those three. So the pistol feels actually really good. I'm a Glock fan. I've always been a Glock fan. It still breaks my heart that Glock took my videos down in the Maruis, because I wasn't selling them, I was just covering them for you guys. But they're obviously getting very twitchy now about airsoft companies that don't have the rights to produce these replicas. That's fine, it's their IP. Just, I've bought other models in the Marui lineup, like the new 19 Gen 5. To be honest with you, the Marui 19 Gen 5 it's still snappy, but it's not as good as the 17. Because with the 17, as you remember, obviously when the gun was cocked, you see how you get this notchiness where the slide moves over the hammer. The 17 didn't do that. The 19 does it like multiple times. It's really notchy. This one is pretty smooth. Now, it does still, slightly get stuck over the hammer here. Real Glocks don't have hammers. Marui obviously solved this with their hammer geometry. Now, you saw how easy that was for me to take that off. So you just make sure the hammer's cocked. You pull down these tabs, you push it forward. Now, with these VFC pistols, credit where credit is due, of course, what I do like about them is you can adjust the hop with these spring guides. So basically what you do, you get a correct size Allen key. I think it's a 3mm. That's a 2.5. I believe it's a 3. Where's my 3? And basically, I don't know if you can hear that. It's very loose fitting compared to how my 19X used to be. Maybe if we drop the slide forward. But you just pop that in there, and that's your hop adjustment. That's fine. With the M17s, I did like that system because the spring guide actually had 2 flat sides on it, so you could actually do it with your hands. You can't really do that with this. You have to sort of put a tool in there, or maybe drop the slide forward, and you can rotate it like this. But if you're just one of those people that set your hop up and sets and forgets, 3mm Allen key, and we just turn it either way for the hop. So we'll finish off this mag and we'll see how it feels. Shot absolutely fine. Does seem like a big improvement, I mean, over the 19X. Now, the 19X, you remember when that initially came out a long time ago. That's how long it's been since I've had a VFC Glock. I ended up going back to Marui's just because with the 19X, as much as I loved it, I really did adore that pistol. It just kept letting me down when it really needed it. Like, so let's say you go out into a game and it's a little bit colder, it really struggled, and then it wouldn't hop, and it was just dropping the BBs about 5 meters. And when it got to a point where I couldn't depend on it, like I couldn't just pull it out the holster and use it, that's when I moved away from VFCs and back to Marui's. Now, we'll have to get this on the range, of course, and we'll compare it. Now, what I will say, even though the Marui's aren't realistic because they have plastic slides, they're not licensed, so they're getting harder and harder to find and get. Shops are not carrying them anymore because Glock are, swinging their weight around and taking people to court if they do stock them. I would love nothing more if this was, an official Umarex Glock 17 Gen 5. If these things were flawless and the performance was there, which we'll yet to see about this model. Obviously, I'll get it on the range test as soon as we can. I know you guys are chomping at the bit for the range test. There's things that have to happen. You know, the guys at HC2 are investing in the site and they're putting in ranges, but that takes time. So that's what we're going to be using. And, you know, eventually the weather will get a bit warmer, which is good for gas blowback users. But we will, of course, test it and we'll see what the performance is like. Now, what I will say is we can also get an idea if we go to a game with it. So I've used my 17, my Marui 17 version 5, should we call it, and the performance out of that thing has been phenomenal. And, you know, if this happens to come across Glock's doorstep and they do watch this video for whatever reason, it's the main reason why a lot of airsofters will buy them, because you just can't negate the performance and the reliability of them, and that's what the customers want. But when we take it on the range or use it in games, if this is something that I can depend on, honestly, the pistol feels fantastic. The weight is really good. The slide is, you know, fairly nice and smooth. Not as nice as like the GHK one, which doesn't have a hammer, but that comes with its own problems anyway. The magazines, they are expensive, especially if you buy them in the UK. Anything Umarex branded is, you know, got this Umarex tax on it, which I like to call, which just makes it phenomenally overpriced compared to other competitors. You know, I bought some 50 round Umarex Glock mags for my Marksman 9, and they were like 60, 70 quid a mag. It's just ridiculous for what it is. But, and I know I keep saying but, I'm going to give it, you know, credit where it's due. First impressions, this thing does feel good. It's got the usual, you know, airsoft Glock trigger, which, to be honest, they're actually not that bad. This isn't the best, but it's very easy to, you know, sort of judge where the break is. It's audible. You can feel it in the trigger. You're right back on the point, and you can take up the pre-travel directly to the bite point, and it's a very short travel to release the hammer. It seems really punchy on the blowback action. And the mags seem to be doing a pretty good job. So I've only filled it, once I purged it, I've only filled this up once full. And we've done all that stuff with the Chrono. We've dumped a mag and we're still here. You know, you probably get 2 or 3 magazines worth of BBs out of this to one fill of gas, which is phenomenal. So there is the VFC / Umarex Glock 17 Gen 5 MOS. I will have to get the RMR. I need to buy more red dots. I'm going through them like crazy at the minute. I'm buying them left, right and centre. Get a red dot on here. Obviously put a torch on. Get it in the holster. See if it's something I can depend on. Because obviously my 19X used to be good like this. And then as soon as the weather was a little bit chilly, it choked up a bit. So there you have it. A lot of people seem to say that I hate VFC, and I don't. I probably have more VFCs than all of you watching. I have a ridiculous amount of VFC replicas. I am just critical, and I say it how it is, and a lot of people don't like that. But this is indeed a VFC. I'm very pleased with it. It seems to be ticking all the boxes. You know, they don't, obviously, some models will have threaded barrels for traces and stuff. I think if you're buying a Umarex VFC Glock 17 Gen 5, you're probably not the type to fit tracers. However, there's, you know, companies out there that will do threaded barrels, and you can put on a lightweight tracer if you want to. I tend not to put tracers on my sidearms at all, because I'll have a tracer on my main rifle. If I'm pulling out the pistol, they're going to be that close that just a torch will suffice. So this will fit in all my holsters. The magazines will fit in all my pouches. My torches will go on. A red dot is nice and easy. I can get it in my nice Safari Land holster. And yeah, it's another Glock, and hope you've enjoyed watching it. Let me know down in the comments below what you think of this replica. Do you own one? Have any tips and tricks for the viewers of the channel? Make sure you get down in the comments and let people know what you found and what performance you get out of it and your experiences. Of course, people love to know more. If you think I've done a good job, a like and a subscribe would go a long way, but I don't pressure you into doing it. All my content on the YouTube channel is free. I know some people thought that I was in one of the previous videos where I was saying about memberships. They thought I was targeting them. I'm not. It's just a broad spectrum. It doesn't necessarily mean airsoft YouTubers. I just think memberships on YouTube channels, YouTube keeps hassling me in the back end of my YouTube studio to do memberships, and I don't think it's right. So I do this for the love of the game, and I do it to show you guys what I'm up to. We review stuff. My content is free. It will never be behind a paywall. And if you want to get more involved with myself and the community, you can join the Jaeger Precision Discord. The link will be in the description below. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I can't wait to get this tested on the range. But for now, from me and Bench, we'll be seeing you in the next one.